Welcome to Campaign Chronicles, our daily look at the French presidential race. Now, things haven't been looking so good for Nicolas Sarkozy, but he might just be turning things around. A poll published today puts the president ahead of socialist François Hollande for the first time in next month's first round of the election. As you can see there, Sarkozy getting 28.5%, his main rival 27%, and Marine Le Pen 16%. Now, the IFOP poll gives Hollande a significant lead, though, for the second decisive round on May the 6th. Now we're going to look at a subject that's been notable for its absence in this election campaign, the environment. On Sunday, an estimated 60,000 people joined a human chain along the Lyon-Avignon motorway to protest against nuclear energy. And this week, several candidates will be paying a visit to the International Water Forum in Marseille, but they haven't had much to say about ecology so far. And to talk about why not, I'm joined by our press reviewer, Elena Casas. Hello, Elena. So why is it then that the environment has been such a non-issue so far in the campaign?
Hello, Claire. Well, interestingly, there's a poll in today's Nouvel Observateur which says that 62% of voters would like to hear more about the environment from the candidates. It came second only after housing for the subject that they say candidates aren't talking about enough. So maybe it isn't true what's often said that in difficult economic times, like now, people forget about things like the environment. It's often portrayed, isn't it, as a kind of secondary concern that we worry about once we're comfortable in every other aspect. But that Nouvel Observateur poll suggests that might not be the case. Nevertheless, the Green candidate, Eva Joly, is doing really badly. We've got to say her campaign has plummeted a bit. She's only got 3% in the latest polls of voting intentions, when her party in regional elections in 2010 polled 16%. So that's a big collapse. Why is that? The Nouvel Observateur is trying to explain. Well, they reckon the Green Party might be partly responsible because they signed an agreement with the Socialists before ever the presidential campaign really began, under which, if Hollande is elected, there'll be Green MPs in his cabinet. It's something they've already agreed. So in that case, even if you really back the Greens, there doesn't seem to be much reason to vote for them, the Nouvel Observateur says, because if you vote for Hollande, there'll be Greens in his government. We know that. Now, the L'Humanité points out in their paper today that some of the people who even voted for the Greens in the past, and even some of their own elected officials, are picking other candidates. They talked to a regional representative of the Green Party here in Paris, who says that she's not going to vote for Eva Joly, even though she's a party member. She's going to vote for Jean-Luc Mélenchon because she reckons that he's realised that social justice is at the heart of ecology and that two things need to go hand in hand. She reckons Eva Joly's campaign has kicked itself in the foot by painting itself as too bourgeois and not concentrating enough on social justice issues. Just mention quickly that Joly isn't actually the only Green candidate in the race. There's also Corinne Lepage, who's also a Green candidate, but Slate points out she's finding it difficult to get those 500 signatures from local mayors that Marine Le Pen has famously pulled together today. She even was so desperate that she tweeted her own mobile number to 14,000 followers yesterday and got a whole assortment of spam in response, but she still hasn't got those signatures from mayors. So all the Green candidates are finding it difficult to win voters over, and they're finding people who voted for them in the past are turning to other candidates. So if I can bring in now, we're joined by Jean-François Juillard, the Director General of Greenpeace France. Let's talk first about Eva Joly's campaign. Why isn't she doing better in the polls, do you think?
I don't know. It's hard to say because I don't know. Many people thought she would be the best candidate for the Green Party, but the fact is she is not. I don't know the reasons, but the fact is we have been very disappointed because environmental issues are not in the front page during this campaign. So, but. You know, at Greenpeace we are very independent. We don't support Eva Joly or other candidates, but we think these issues should be raised by all the candidates and not only by the Green one.
So which are the issues then you think that the candidates should be looking at more closely?
Energy, renewable energies. We don't say anything about it in France. We only talk about nuclear issue, but the fact is the President Sarkozy doesn't want to change anything regarding the nuclear issue. François Hollande says almost the same, and François Bayrou, the other candidate, we don't know about his position about nuclear issues. So the fact is we don't speak about it. There is no a huge debate about what will be the energy for France tomorrow. And we should have this debate because other neighboring countries have this debate right now. And if we don't have it in France right now, we will be very late having it, and it will be too late maybe.
Some opinion polls, as I mentioned, say that people who voted for the Greens in the past are choosing other candidates now. Why do you think that is? Has environment got pushed back on people's priorities?
Yes, because of the crisis, and it's true that French citizens are most concerned by employment, by the increasing prices right now than by environmental issues. But the fact is, it's the responsibility of the candidates and all the candidates as well to make a bridge between these issues. Because of course we can save employment by working harder on environmental issues. We can develop new industries, new private companies in environmental sectors. So there should be a link between all these issues. And the fact is, maybe Eva Joly doesn't make this bridge, and maybe other candidates, like you talk about Jean-Luc Mélenchon or other ones, make this bridge between environmental issues and social issues.
What do you think, then, people in France could do to maybe bring these issues to the forefront?
I don't know. It was the first anniversary of Fukushima disaster during this weekend, and more than 60,000 French citizens gather in the south of France to raise this issue. But it was not enough, because at the same time there was this big meeting of Nicolas Sarkozy in Paris suburbs. So
they're out there, but they're not necessarily being listened to.
Yeah, exactly. We have the feeling that it's to the candidates to talk about this issue. I mean, if tomorrow Nicolas Sarkozy or François Hollande start talking about environmental issues, of course it will be one of the first priorities of the campaign. So it's to them now to bring this issue to the agenda.
Jean-François Julien, thank you very much for coming in, and thank you, Elena. That's it for Campaign Chronicles. That's it for all of us here on Live from Paris. Thanks for watching. Do stay tuned to France 24.
Are they watchdogs of the world's financial system or a threat to it? In Beyond Business, we look at credit ratings agencies and the work they do. This is European regulators look at ways to rein in their power and influence.
Don't miss Beyond Business, today, 10:15 a.m. Paris time, on France 24.